Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of First and Last. I am Josh, and with me today I have Joe.
Objection.
And Claire is here.
Hey!
Hey, Claire.
It's been too long.
It has. Good thing we got rid of Jimmy for a week.
Thanks, guys.
No
The
problem.
people demanded it.
We did. He's not even busy. We just told him. We just said we're not recording tonight.
Jimmy, I know that's not true, and they love you so much. They wish you were here.
I don't know what he's doing though. So
Yeah, he kind of didn't say.
no, he's being all weird about it. Or you just said I can't make it, and no one asked what he was doing.
He's probably like, why did anybody ask me what I'm doing?
Why doesn't nobody care what I do?
I just assumed he was doing something cool.
Maybe.
Really? You didn't like sit here? Like, I would just be like, oh man, he's probably doing something kind of awesome.
It's a secret, and we'll reveal it at the end of the show.
I hope that you actually text Jimmy and find out what he's doing, and then we can reveal it, please. I'll
Stay
do it.
tuned.
Well, Joe's in charge of that because I'm not going to remember any of that shit. Well, hey, this isn't coming out after New Year's, but this is the first episode that we are officially recording within 2019.
2019.
So how was everybody's New Year?
Oh man, it was a new year.
Yeah, I heard you had some new fear at a zombie fest. Huh?
What?
What?
I just you were in a house full of plagues and flus.
Oh, that wasn't New Year's. But yes.
That was Christmas.
Our
wasn't
holidays adventure, I almost said our last name because I keep doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But the holiday adventure was filled with the plague. It was a lot. But by New Year's, I was feeling better.
Was there any like comical flu-like things that happened?
I mean, I just
Like,
don't find barfing funny. But there were a lot of like, all of a sudden, it's just like barf is coming out of a mouth. Like, if you think that's funny, then...
Yeah.
Say the minute you said I don't feel barfing funny, I went, I got a story for you. I don't think I
You have like a funny
Funny
barfing
barf.
story?
I think it's funny. And
Okay.
at the time I was like, I don't like this, but really looking back I'm like, this is a comedy.
It's like a gem moment of barf.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
were at a family Christmas, and this little boy walks into the room, just literally comes into the room, and he just stands in the middle of the room and just like looks. He doesn't move his head. He just looks and just throws up onto the floor. Like doesn't say anything.
And was his name Josh?
No, it wasn't me.
Okay.
This happened like 2 days ago.
Oh, you just had this happen to you?
Yeah.
Dude, I want to know if everyone out there was affected by some sort of cold flu virus at Christmas. It feels like everyone I've talked to has had some sort of plague.
I mean, I was sick.
2018,
The year of the plague?
the year of the plague.
Blech.
But hey, it's 2019. We're feeling better.
Yeah, I wasn't sick in 2019. I was only sick at the last days of 2018. I got like better just in time to go New Year's.
Yeah,
Chilling.
There you go. Joe never got the plague.
No, I'm with it, guys. Ugh.
2019, the year of Joe's chronic illness.
He also like refused to touch me for like a whole week.
I mean,
So
that's fair.
that was weird. That was weak.
And I didn't get the plague.
That's
so
true.
He was just not giving you his healing touch. He's like, I'm not going to use this. What if I get sick?
Oh, I was saving anti-nausea medication for him because I don't think he could have handled it. He would have died.
Yeah, he's a little wuss.
We'll
I
see
mean-
about that.
Well,
Don't get sick.
speaking of nauseating, what show are we watching today?
Oh man, this is one I've been waiting on,
Have you?
and I've never seen it. No, I'm kind of excited. I've never seen it. I remember it being a big show when I was a kid. Never really knew the hype. We're gonna be watching some Ally McBeal.
Callista Flockhart. Is she still roommates with Harrison Ford?
I don't even know. Like, I feel like you
I
got
don't
the
even
wrong
know.
person in here. I don't know any of that drama.
No, I'm pretty sure. I mean, maybe
Were
they're
they-
married, but
were-
I'm pretty sure they like just never got married. I think they were just
Oh, that's great.
long-term partners.
I feel like
That's
I
cool.
see them together. Like, that's a couple that makes sense.
Yeah,
Is Callista Flockhart in different things?
she was in. I don't want to sound like Jimmy,
Uh-huh.
but she was in Supergirl the first like 2 seasons.
Like as Supergirl?
No,
Oh.
I didn't say she played Supergirl. I said she's in Supergirl.
So like that's her other big show.
She was like the lady that worked in the news agency. She was like the head of the news thing where Supergirl was a reporter.
I was just wondering if she like had a thing before Ally McBeal.
maybe not before. I don't know, because Ally McBeal was in 1998. I
I
believe.
got yelled at for Wikipedia.
Yeah, the first season was 97, 98.
Okay. I was gonna look it up because Claire's afraid to Wikipedia now.
No, I did, and then I found things I wasn't supposed to talk about yet or something.
Well, I'm just trying to keep like a pure like tabula rasa before I watch this first episode. You know, I did read enough of the Wikipedia just to see that like this show like was a hit right away and like won a bunch of like Emmys and Golden Globes.
Yeah, but except for the last season, in which we're gonna see the finale in when they got canceled. So I don't have high hopes for the finale.
Well, they went 5 seasons, 112 episodes.
Is that like of you guys' range? Like, is that like a hit show, a medium show?
I mean, I just think if a show gets to 100+ episodes, then I think it did well. And at some point, like TV shows nowadays kind of like omit maybe like The Walking Dead, but like most TV shows have a plan. Like Lost went so long and they finished, you know. Breaking Bad went so long and it finished. Like shows have like arcs now. Like they're making like 10-season quality shows. Like Game of Thrones isn't going to go on as long as until it gets canceled. Like it's going to finish, you know?
Okay.
Like shows have plans, and back then in like 98, early 2000s,
You're just waiting to get canceled?
Shows were just like, well, we're just going to go until we can't go anymore. We don't have a path. Cuz it's like a 45-minute show, right?
Yeah.
And I mean like some sort of maybe TV drama.
All I know is it's about like a law firm.
Yeah.
And there was like a spinoff of like another Boston show. Like they're in the same universe but on different networks. I want to say it's like, I like I'm looking at your Wikipedia page. I want you to scroll down a little bit.
It's called genre for this is surreal dramedy / legal drama is what it is.
Whoa. I heard there's a lot of music in it, and I also remember that there was like a dancing baby, but I don't know how that comes into play.
Oh, is that where the dancing baby comes from?
Yes, and that was like one of the original memes or something, right? Like it was like viral video on the internet.
The series also took place in the same continuity as David E. Kelly's legal drama The Practice.
Yes. So that was on a different network, and they had some crossovers, which is rare to have like
And those shows are happening at like the same time, right?
Yes. Yeah. Which I thought was kind of interesting.
It is interesting. A lot of legalese going on.
Are there a lot of legal shows now? Like I feel like I mean Law and Order is like there's only like SVU left.
I think there's like 3 really like large kind of like show tropes that kind of happen a lot, and that's like hospital shows, lawyer shows, and cop shows.
Okay.
Like those are like the big 3 in my opinion, because it's kind of like anything in there, you're always going to be able to like stoke up some action or drama or something that's going to happen. It's pretty easy. Like people can get sued for a lot. People can go to get arrested for a lot.
And you can close that story arc within one episode or a couple episodes. It doesn't last forever.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Franklin and Bash was such a big hit.
I don't even know what that is. Did you guys watch that?
No, it was like a TNT show with Mark Paul Gosselaar.
Oh, okay. Sounds great.
Franklin and Bash.
It only ran for like a season.
Oh.
I mean, the only thing I know about
Matlock
was a legal show.
That's still on like
it was
reruns.
like the OG.
the OG lawyer show.
Yeah. I mean, literally the only person in this show that I know Portia de Rossi was in this show?
Yes. Okay, I did
literally the only
same
person.
thing.
Wait, Portia de Rossi?
Well, I just said
the later seasons more like stars came in, I think because they got really popular in their second season. So more stars kind of picked it up, and there was like a dip in ratings, so they brought in like Robert Downey Jr.
Jane Krakowski was in this show, the lady from 30 Rock.
Ah, yes. I still haven't seen that.
And Lucy Liu was in this show.
Yeah, so like there's people. So I don't know.
Could be good.
I hear there's also music. I'm a little nervous about that. It might be dated.
What do you mean? Of course there's music.
No, but like it was enough that like there was like an album made of the music from the Ally McBeal show, and people bought the album.
Like original music?
From what it
or
sounds
like a Dawson's
like.
Creek
I don't know if it was a
type of
Dawson's Creek or if it was original, and that I waited, Joe.
Okay.
I waited to see what the episode would bring.
I guess we'll see if there's tunes in this episode.
Maybe there'll be a musical moment. Maybe there'll be a sing-along.
I don't think we're going to get to that episode. There might...
Starts off episode 1.
There's a musical episode in a legal drama. That would be an episode of TV I've never seen.
Yeah.
Do you think the baby's gonna come in episode 1?
I don't think we're gonna see the baby.
Starring Callista Flockhart and a meme baby.
They didn't even know what memes were in 1997.
I guess I could see because the meme baby was a big thing. We could see it in the last episode potentially, like
Yeah,
as like
that's
as
true.
a
Like a
quick
clip.
thing
Oh,
or a
if-
clip.
It could be a clip show.
But yeah, we're not seeing the meme baby in the first episode. What is happening in the first episode of this show, Claire?
Oh, there is a new lawyer joining the law firm.
Her name is Ally McBeal.
No, she's
no?
already there.
Okay.
Ally McBeal doesn't like them. I haven't decided if it's a male or
Oh.
female.
Yeah, well, don't
And
assume
there's-
their gender.
I don't want to be that person. And there's a fight over a case and who's going to get to be the lawyer on the case.
What is the case, you think?
There is a really rich man and he's done something terrible and they're trying to prove him innocent.
Probably like adultery / his spouse is dead.
Oh God. Okay, sure.
you
It'll be
think
that
there's-
kind of law firm.
There's anything about like Allie being a woman in like a man's world or in a man's profession? Like, is this like a
Are you baiting me?
like? Do you know this
All I know is that feminists were pissed
about this show?
about this show and the way that Allie is portrayed and the way that she wears short skirts and acts like she doesn't have any legal knowledge. And I haven't seen the show, so I don't know if that's true.
Is the movie Legally Blonde based off Ally McBeal?
I hope so. But I do know that there was a Time cover, and back in the day, that was a big deal. With
Was
like,
Ally McBeal Person of the Year?
no, but they had Callista Flockhart's picture, Ally McBeal's picture, in with like other like feminists, and they said, "Is feminism dead?" And then apparently in season 2, there was an episode in which they joke about how Ally had a dream that she was on the cover of Time, being feminism or feminist of the year. So it's played into on the show.
Feminizer of the Year.
I don't know how to say that word.
So you're saying that it's probably not like Dr. Quinn, where she's like,
I'm still hoping that this one line I read on Wikipedia is wrong. Because I think it's going to be great. And Allie's going to save some days.
It's also depending on like potentially where you were reading it or whatever. Like if it was just like mild outrage culture or if
it was
it really
Wikipedia.
is a big
It's to be trusted.
You know, like maybe it is a big deal, or maybe it was just like the person writing the article was salty about Ally McBeal because like they have a lot
I
of
mean,
feelings.
there was also a Time article. So there's something about this that like made it to Time magazine, which was a big deal at the time.
Got to get those 1998 clicks, which is buying magazines at a magazine stand.
They still click to buy magazines then, right? How else do you buy a magazine?
You call someone and then you like place
You
an order.
call the
Explain.
magazine man. Don't you know the
You have a
magazine man?
magazine agent. and
No,
he
I
buys you
wasn't-
your magazine.
I was just listening to a Y2K pod, and it was interesting that they had to explain like magazines, like the cover of a magazine, it was what you would read each week and how big of a deal it was.
It was the first thumbnail.
A magazine was?
A magazine cover. It was the first thumbnail.
Hey, there we go. We're making all these connections.
I mean, I feel like people have made these connections before. But...
Why can't we just be the people that made it
No,
up?
we're pioneering this. You're right.
Yes,
You're right.
it's 2019. I made
You're
all.
right.
These are all original thoughts.
I'm gonna go on this thing, and I assume there's some like jerk dumb lawyer dude who's like totally sexually harassing Ally McBeal during this episode.
Ugh, I hope not.
But I think he is, in a way, he either learns to be a better man in future seasons, or Ally like pretends to be into him and like handcuffs him to the bed, and he gets like pictures of his underwear taken and posted all over the office.
Okay, so
So
there's
she gets her revenge, or he learns the error of his ways.
there's some like pranking in this office.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, solid prank.
So prank, bro.
seems a little harassy, but I'll go with it. It was the 90s.
It is 90s. Yeah,
It's
late
the
90s.
90s.
So cool. Joe, you got anything?
I don't think so. I think she wears a short skirt and a long jacket.
Oh man.
Maybe she does. All right. Well, let's go see the length of Ally McBeal's clothes as we watch the pilot episode of The Bealster. And we're back.
Woo.
finished the pilot of Ally McBeal.
What good music, am I right? Okay, it was terrible.
It's right up there with Dawson's Creek.
Dawson's Creek music was better.
It was way better. That was so bad.
This show, or at least the pilot, was like soundtracked by just like the one woman who kind of sings like a lady version of what's the name of the guy? That was like
Enrique Iglesias.
Rob
Rob Thomas?
Keep going. I just like Josh's guesses.
Michael McDonald.
I don't even know who that
She
is.
does not sound like Michael McDonald at
Sounds like
all.
Lady Michael McDonald.
I disagree.
So imagine that at just like all of the dramatic moments of this show. It's like, oh, I'm so sad.
Ally McBeal's crying.
no, it's more like no.
That was during the happy parts of the show.
Okay, then there were the sad parts, and it was the same lady. But I like that they showed her playing piano. You would think that this whole episode, though, was about music, and it's not. Hey, Josh, you gonna tell us what it's about? Because I don't like reading it.
Yeah, I was like, I just thought, oh
And
shit,
Jimmy's not here to be like, Jimmy, where's it at?
I
Your
texted
one
him
job."
to ask him what he's doing, and he didn't respond.
He is not. Yeah, he is
Really?
not.
So
responded to us.
we'll still have to wait to find out at the end of the episode.
Well, yeah, you got to stay till the end of the whole podcast.
Yeah.
All right, episode 1 of Ally McBeal, entitled Pilot, is Ally McBeal is introduced as flashbacks of her ex-boyfriend Billy Thomas are displayed in montage. Ally loses her job at her law firm when she files a sexual harassment claim against a colleague. A chance meeting with her ex-classmate Richard Fish results in Ally being offered a job at his new law firm. To Ally's shock, Billy works at the firm and he has an attractive wife named Georgia.
Well, she's like 90s attractive, right?
This was so 90s.
Yeah, I mean, she was wearing like mom jeans and like weird sweaters.
They were pantsuits, but yeah, same thing.
No, I'm talking about Georgia.
When she came over
When
to
she
the
came
house.
over,
Yeah.
That was the things you couldn't do in the 90s, like Facebook stalk someone. Like all of the problems in this episode would have been fixed by just a couple Google searches.
Like what?
Well, mainly just the Callista Flockhart, like plus Billy, the ex-boyfriend.
I mean,
Like she Googles him to find out where he works and doesn't work there. Is that what you mean?
well, one, she would know where he works. She'd
Right.
be able to Google it. Like she
well,
doesn't have to word
she
of mouth.
followed him on. She would have followed him on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, there
and
you
would
go.
have already known.
Done. And then also, like, his current wife would have known everything about their relationship because it would have been, like, posted on the internet.
Because it would have been on Facebook and MySpace throughout college.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty much all of that whole side piece to this wouldn't
Yeah.
have happened.
Well,
But also, who cares, right?
True.
okay. Well,
It's a
here,
girl you dated years ago.
while we're on
No,
it,
3 years. It wasn't fresh. This is a fresh breakup.
That's a fresh breakup. 3 years.
3 years.
If it's a... She dated him from, like, prepubescence, like,
Uh-huh.
to grad school. Like, that is, like, your life.
Okay.
And 3 years post that, yeah, that's a short period of time.
Well, okay. Well, let's just go into the relationship part first before we get into like the whole butt grabber scenario.
Oh, yeah.
But so yeah, she ends up working through things happen. She gets fired from her old job, or she quits. Does she get fired? She's fired. She gets fired, and then she runs into her friend Richard, her ex-colleague or whatever. Richard, he's got a new law firm. He hires her. She makes more money now, has a better job.
Mm-hmm.
But her ex-boyfriend Billy works there, and you meet his wife Georgia. And the biggest hiccup I had was Georgia came over to Ally McBeal's apartment to like be like, you used to date my boyfriend or my husband, and I hate you now.
How did Georgia find her? Like, apparently Georgia had Facebook or something.
She had a phone book.
It's a phone book, the white pages,
Yeah,
not the yellow. The yellow are for businesses.
but she comes over and was like, you dated my husband. Okay, number one, according to what she said to Ally, she came over because she was so threatened that her husband, in her mind, had only gone on a couple dates with the lady that he now works with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Bitches are crazy.
Well, that's what I learned
Is
from
there
this
no-
show.
I'm
is
lying. I'm lying. That is an abnormal thing to do. It's a very 90s, like, also, like, why would you go to someone's house? They were just out, too, like, so it had been, like, late-ish.
Yeah, they had gone out, or
Yeah.
they were like dancing at clubs,
Yeah,
and they were
'cause
home
the
from
singer
that.
was
She was just
singing.
in the neighborhood. Oh, hey.
And also,
It's 2:30 in the morning.
my biggest problem
Can
is
I come in and talk?
Ally McBeal opens the door without using her peephole. Like, just full on, like, oh, it's late at night. Someone's knocking on my door. I'm just going to open it.
Maybe she thought the dancing twins were coming over.
Oh, those dancing twins.
They were just two dudes dressed in the same gross, like, green suit that were dancing the
That's
same.
a good gimmick. I like that.
Dancing twins.
If I was a single if we were two single dudes, we should have like dressed up the same and gone
Hey,
dancing.
You know, never say never, Joe. Might happen.
Oh, God.
But
Don't
then
do that.
yeah, she
Even
comes.
if it does happen.
But I was like, I was almost like mad because I was like, do you not like trust your husband at all? Like, where's the trust in this marriage?
Yeah. Well,
Especially because she just thinks that they dated a little bit. Like
Yeah.
not anything as nearly serious as what they did.
but also, like...
So, I mean, I guess he's already lying.
But it's also like, why is this guy not just like, oh yeah, let me tell you the story about Ally. Like, we dated for a really long time. She's working with me. It's gonna be kind of weird. Like, let's have an open, honest relationship. He's like obviously secretive in his current relationship. And then he had that like moment with Ally in the bathroom where Richard's like listening in and he's going off about how, oh yeah, you were the love of my life. I remember, being on the phone late at night just to hear you breathe. Like, it was just like a little too much. It just was such a overkill on his like how much he admired their relationship, because it didn't make sense. Like, his level of commitment to Ally just didn't make sense the whole episode. Like, why did he dump her to go to Michigan? No offense to Michigan. Like, I know a lot of people that love that school.
I turned to you during the thing. I was like, they were going to Harvard and he went to Michigan from Harvard?
I tried to like stand up for Michigan. I really did. But he was going to be on the law review.
But Harvard.
I don't know. We're not lawyers.
This is
but
true.
I mean, like, to that point, they both end up at the same law firm. So
Yes.
Yeah. Joe's like, they have the same job, though. So I guess whatever happened. Whatever. Okay, so that's a big thing going on. Obviously, that's a big point of contention in Ally McBeal's life now, is that she works with her husband, or her ex-boyfriend, and her ex-boyfriend's new wife, or current wife,
Is
or whatever,
stalking her.
like, hates her and is being creepy about it.
Because then she came back later in the episode to talk to her in her office.
Yeah.
I was just
She'd be
waiting
like,
for her there.
yeah, why did you tell my husband that I came over?
And I'd be like, bitch, why did you come over? What do you mean?
Because
why?
that's a crazy thing. And I
Because
feel
the
like
thing,
people should know.
Because the thing that you did was fucked up, and I told your husband, who's the person I've known for a very long time, that the person you married did a kind of a fucked up thing.
Also, right now, when you're here in my office, I'm going to tell him about that too.
Yeah, he's gonna know you're here. Does your
Yeah.
husband know you're even in his place of work?
Yeah, what? That's so strange. Also, like, why wouldn't you go like see your husband if you're at his job?
Well, she did afterwards.
Eventually.
Because he
So-
walked into
Yeah,
Ally
that's
McBeal's
right.
office.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I learned from this show, is it taught me two things. Women, crazy. Men, smart. Sometimes a little grabby.
I totally did not agree with your premise on that.
What?
You got that men are smart. Well, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go out of their way to praise how smart the men is. Even the one who harassed Ally, they don't talk about how he's disgusting. They talk about how smart he was to come up with that defense.
But then they caught him in his own game.
Sure. He wasn't quite smart enough. But
I guess
again,
he
it
did-
was the men who set that up, right? And that was their smart plan.
Yeah, they tricked Ally into not even thinking it was happening.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't quite see it the same way Joe's saying it, but
Well, because
I mean, maybe
Allie is shown as a little bit crazy because she's like obsessed with her old boyfriend. The wife Georgia is clearly crazy. We're shown that what's Jane Krakowski's character's name?
Elaine.
She's like
Oh.
a paralegal that works for
Yeah.
them, right? And like she's like over obsessive about like trying to prove her worth, and that makes her crazy. They
Like, it's
they
so-
do a thing with like her head being animated to like keep enlarging.
I thought
mean,
that was funny.
okay. I mean, I would say if you going with what you're saying, like if you look at like the 3 men and the 3 women kind
Yeah.
of in the show, like the men definitely like look better
Yeah.
in this show for sure.
I mean, the men are maybe a little
Her
cold.
roommate Renee seems sane.
Well, Renee got into the drama too and was like saying stuff at Georgia when she wasn't even involved because she likes drama and is a little crazy. That's what I was shown in
I
this
feel
show.
like if anyone has that article from the Time magazine from 1998 and they want to give it to Joe, you guys can probably email it to him or.
No, I get what I mean. This is what like it showed. I would say like, you know, as far as like Mr. Butt Grabber, which we'll get into him in a second, but like I mean it did like show overall with with implications. Not like they didn't say it really, but they were like, you know, obviously what he's doing is wrong, and obviously he's an idiot.
Well, I wonder if it's because it's like her.
But he was the only one that was like negatively portrayed.
I wonder if it's because it's like her subconscious that you see in the show. Like you watch her and how she thinks about herself and her life. I'm trying to be a little bit positive about this, guys. I'm putting a little stretch on it. Like you watch her like look in the mirror and wishing her boobs were bigger, or you watch her like, you know, like watching people's heads get bigger.
Yeah,
or whatever.
she has a little of like imposter syndrome where
Yes.
she feels like she's not good enough and thinks that everyone else is
better
super
than
competent.
her. Like she literally has that one scene in the conference room where she feels like she's in this big chair.
Yeah,
So if we're
and that was
putting
when she was coming up with a good idea.
Yeah,
Yes.
and she did like a good thing, and afterwards they like popped a thing. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where, I mean, she's at a new job. She's trying to like do good. She says something. She's like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like what I would probably think in a new job, but just because they've been doing it with her.
But her boyfriend broke up with her to go to Harvard because he wasn't on the law review, but she was on the Harvard law review. Like she's obviously good at what she does. She's obviously smart. But because it's in the perspective of her subconscious, she's not able to see that.
Okay, I like that. I could see that. Like
Let's dig into that.
My read is that, you know, that they're just not treating women well in this show. But another read could be that this is from the perspective of a character, and this is just how it feels sometimes.
But it was it was a dude that created the show.
Yeah,
Oh,
David E.
man.
Kelly.
Yeah.
My whole theory's out the window. I tried.
I thought maybe it was like a Dr. Quinn thing where it was a lady that created the show, and then because if it was a lady that created, it's weird, but it like does seem like it might be a little different. If it was a lady that created the show and was like a main writers were women, then it would just kind of be like, yeah, this is just kind of like how like we feel or think a little bit
yeah,
more.
and it's a little bit
a more
weird
perspective. But if
that
it's like a dude,
that a man would write a show.
this is how a woman feels.
Well, and also in which this episode, about 12 women got groped in the first episode, and they like zoom in on their butts and their boobs. Like if a woman had written that, it'd be a very different thing than I feel like a man writing.
We
that.
saw Callista Flockhart in her bra like 5 minutes into the show.
With her as a child or her as an adult, because we saw both, and I was grossed out by
They
the
were
child.
in swimming suits.
They like zoomed in on this. It was not okay.
It was an entire upper body shot. It was like from waist up. It wasn't like on a 12-year-old's boobs.
She could have been in a one piece. It was too much.
She could have been, but she was a young girl and she was trying to get some sun. I don't know. I was like, you were like, oh my God. And I'm like, it's just a little girl swimming. What's the big deal?
But she was like trying to be sexy with a boy. It just was too gross.
I don't know. You were looking into I wasn't like sexualizing any part of I was just thinking.
She was like making out with that boy.
Yeah, but I just like, I see kids and I just don't care.
Yeah,
like, you
well,
know,
like Claire has a different relationship with like the children.
sexy kids.
That is super gross.
I said that in a weird way, but what I mean is you like work in an environment with like weird hormonal kids, like.
Yeah. And
I don't see kids as people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are just things like this is just past monsters. Right. Like and you're like, oh, kids are people and they're whatever, and she's like trying to be sexy, and I'm like, I'm just like a little girl trying to go swimming with like a boy she likes. And I don't think anything past that. I really don't.
I'm proud of you for like having a block towards all children, I guess.
Well, I mean, at least you know that I'm not like looking at a little kid and going like, yeah.
That's a different podcast. Like, we don't need to go into that.
Well, we never ever have to talk about that because that shouldn't be a thing that anyone thinks.
That just got so weird. But anyway, Grabby McGrabberson.
Okay, so then you got the butt grabber. So like she originally got, so the show essentially started after like the weird like she like college montage where her boyfriend left or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then she's working at her job, and then there's this like. Was he a partner of the law firm or something like that? I thought she said he was like he was just a lawyer.
I don't know.
Whatever.
It seems like he's just a lawyer, but a really good lawyer.
He was a good lawyer in the law firm, and he like was just like standing behind her while she was on like a step stool where like his head was like at butt level, and then he just like grabbed her butt, and then obviously she was like, "Fuck you, dude! What the hell?" And then filed a sexual harassment suit, and then he like made up this thing about how he's got obsessive compulsive disorder towards like grabbing women's butts, which is obviously ridiculous. But they were like, oh, we got a lawsuit, so then she was going to sue him, the law firm was going to sue him or something with her, but then they were like, it's going to cost too much money and it's just not going to work out. So essentially they just fired her instead. So for her trying to like defend herself, she got fired from her job,
Right.
which probably is unfortunately a tale too old to tell.
Mm-hmm.
But then when she was like walking out of the law firm, she ran into that Richard guy, and they took on the suit to help her out. And then,
but then the best litigator at their law firm is her ex-boyfriend.
Is her ex-boyfriend, and that's where that whole thing comes in. But then they trick the butt grabber guy into like saying that he made the whole thing up because they invited him into the law firm and had a secret like tape recorder recording.
Yeah, well, he confessed to like being like, "Oh yeah, it's all made up." Blah blah blah.
Well, because they were like, because he was talking to Richard, the law firm owner, and he was like, "Oh," and then Callista walked in, or Ally McBeal walked in. She was like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, we're gonna hire him because he's like really good." And he's like, "Oh, you'll be fine. I get it that you're mad about the butt grabbing, but like you'll get over it, right?" And obviously she's like, "No, I'm not." Then he's like, "I'm sure you just made it up." And then the butt grabber guy was like, "Yeah, I totally made it all up."
And then they pulled out the tape recorder.
Yeah,
which I looked it up, and Massachusetts is an all-party consent state for recording, so
that's not legal.
That would have been illegal.
Yeah, that would have been illegal.
You literally looked that up?
Yeah.
Well, depending on what state you are, you can't like record people on the. I know you can't do that in California. You can't like record your phone calls without everybody knowing.
What about Minnesota?
I could have a camera and I wouldn't have to tell either one of you because it's my home.
Have you actually looked that up? I didn't look it up for Minnesota.
Yeah, I've looked it up in Minnesota before.
So there's just one party consent.
So they're like,
yeah, it's one party
creepy
consent.
cameras all over your apartment?
No, I don't have to tell you.
Oh my god. There's like a live stream of me right now, looking uncomfortable.
Facebook Live.
Ah.
No, I looked it up because one of our friends one time had she lived with roommates and they were like had cameras like in their living room or something like that.
Oh.
And it was a big thing. So we like looked it up one time. It was very interesting. I was like, oh, I wonder. I think it's as long as it's essentially if you're recording in your own home, you have to record in an area where you essentially people assume that it's public. Like I can't have like a camera in my bathroom. Because when you go to the bathroom at my home, you assume you're in private, and that's a general like accepted assumption that you would have. But if you're sitting in this office or my living room, you're in like public area of my home, and therefore I can have a camera.
So it's
without
like
telling you.
In a place that you'd be less likely to pick a wedgie, you can't videotape, but in a public space,
Right. Whip out a boob or a dong, you know.
So gross. So gross. Well, Ally McBeal, let's talk about all
learned
the
a
gross
little
stuff.
about the law today.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're watching a legal show. So then they catch him and presumably and then she said like, oh, he has to settle.
Yeah.
So now leaving this episode, the big question is like, how is Ally going to deal with her ex-boyfriend being at the law firm? How are they going to go on?
Yeah, and I was surprised. I was surprised he lasted the whole episode.
Oh, he's going to be around for a while.
He'll be around for a season, I bet.
Nah, he's gone. He's going to be gone quickly. I mean, we did notice that he was on a couple more of the episodes.
That guy was in Shawshank Redemption. He is going to be around for at least a season. He was in Shawshank Redemption 4 years before this show started.
I don't know.
But as a pilot, thoughts?
I mean, you get a little bit of, I feel like all the main players. I feel like, you get Ally, Billy Thomas, and who's the partner at the law firm?
Richard Fish.
Richard and Elaine. I feel like those are going to be like the main four, right?
Mm-hmm. I think George is going to be a pretty big role.
Okay.
I was disappointed by the low level of law in this episode, and I think it's because they're doing so much of the personal life stuff.
Yeah, I wondered about that too.
If
they do more law later.
Yeah, and there was a couple law scenes or courtroom scenes.
Yeah, is there gonna be a case of the week type of thing or?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope that they get more into that and because it was always just oh, you got to get this ready and da 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 da, and it was just a lot of busy talk and busy work, but it wasn't actually hunkering down and doing legal stuff.
We didn't watch Ally McBeal sift through court documents for 3 hours.
I don't want to see that, but I want to see some I don't know, legal stuff.
I did see on the Wikipedia that there was a couple seasons in, there's something they tried called Ally, which they just cut down the episodes to 25 minutes and aired it as just a comedy sitcom. Like they just cut all the courtroom stuff out.
Oh, weird.
Wait, they cut all the courtroom out and they just like let it be like the
Yeah,
side?
and it was like a separate thing that they just called Ally.
Oh,
which
so it was
like
a
shorter version
different.
of
It was
Ally
a
McBeal.
different show.
Right.
Was it like the episode of Ally McBeal that week and the episode of Ally that week? Were they like the
Yeah.
same plot? But
Yeah, I think it was like the same plot.
but Ally didn't have the legal stuff in it.
Right, with maybe some extra scenes cut in to like fill in more of like the personal stuff.
Weird.
Yeah, but I think it said it ran for like 10 episodes and then they stopped doing it.
Fun thing to try though, I guess.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, 'cause I've never heard
It's
of
like
a
here's
show
the same
like,
show but a different version.
I mean, now we have like maybe like web shorts and stuff of some shows, you know,
Mhm,
like
mhm.
just like little side stories that if you're watching the main show, you don't need to see it.
Yeah,
But I've never really heard of a show doing that. Could you imagine if they did something like that in reverse? Like they took Home Improvement, but they put like way more serious stuff from like
just an hour-long version of Home
an
Improvement.
hour-long version of Home Improvement where it's like just Tim like building something, you know, and like going through it.
I'm trying to think of other shows that could actually do that. I mean, I guess you could take like any like long form drama and like
Yeah,
cut
and
out
cut it
one
down.
character or like do one storyline in like an episode.
Cut out the side dishes and only keep the main course in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that.
I might watch that. Like if you're like give me like a collector's edition of Grey's Anatomy and it was only like one character storyline, I'd dabble.
Did you know Grey's Anatomy was a book?
I
A book?
did read that recently.
Or did you know that the TV show Grey's Anatomy is because there's a doctor named Grey in it?
Yes.
Dr. Gray.
Joe found that out like 2 weeks ago or something like that.
Oh, Joe.
He's like, wait, Dr. Gray.
He,
That's pretty
he
good.
doesn't watch
Meredith
anything I try to
Grey.
get him to watch. It's sad.
Um,
What did you guys think about Richard Fish?
he's my favorite character in the show.
Dick Fish? Who's Dick Fish?
That's the boss.
The boss.
of the law firm.
Oh, he was okay. I don't know. I couldn't get a read on him. They portrayed him as a guy who only cares about money, but then he like was trying to help like Ellie out. So I don't know.
I just think
couldn't read
I think he's kind of the comedy relief in a way. Like
Uh-huh.
he like had his feet up in the stall, you know, and they're like, we looked under the stalls, and he was like, oh, there's something wrong with like I have a disc and I have to keep my feet up. So it's like you think he's like the guy's like pooping with his feet up on the bars or something like that, and like every time he like walks in, like he's just kind of like, oh, what's going on? Like I don't know, he's just a silly guy, so I like him.
Okay. He's also on Grey's Anatomy, just so you know.
Oh, that's got it. That's why you care.
A little connection.
Neat.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you guys have is there more? Do you guys have predictions?
Now I'm ready to dive into predicts.
I feel like my predictions are weak.
All right, let's start with yours then.
Go first.
Oh, I don't even like them. Okay, my first one is that Renee and Ally are gonna go dancing because Ally's single.
Okay.
I think Ally's gonna stay single, and her and her roommate are still gonna be like chilling and going out dancing. I'm really hoping I didn't put this in there that the piano lady, her name is Vonda Shepherd. I hope that she's like playing at the piano bar, but I can't put that in the predict. That's too.
So
too
your
close.
predict is just that they go dancing, or just that, or they go dancing and she's single.
Yeah, they go dancing because Ally's still single.
Okay.
Single and ready to mingle. I think that Elaine is a lawyer now.
Okay.
So Elaine's like gone to the school. She's hit the books. She's not a paralegal. She's a lawyer.
I think Elaine changed her name to Jenna Maroney by now. And
And I don't know if you got this, but Richard made a comment about a fishism, and he said some quote, and he's like, "That's a fishism."
yeah, because he's the comedy guy. See,
So,
that's what I'm saying.
I am thinking that he's gonna have a fishism in the final episode, and he's gonna be like, "That's my fishism."
All right.
I only have 3.
Okay. I have that Ally becomes president.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. There's no courtroom stuff in the last episode. There's okay.
Do you count? Will you count? I mean, they have to be in the courtroom. They don't not like the meeting room where they're like litigating pre-court.
Right.
conference
the
room?
actual courtroom.
Yeah, like okay, cool.
Yeah. Someone calls her Allison by her full name, Allison.
Oh,
And then this last one, I said that there's a large like Godzilla type monster. Like not exactly a giant lizard. It could be like a Mothra, but like a large like building destroying type monster. And I don't think it's necessarily because this show goes sci-fi, but just because there's a lot of like weird like animation stuff.
It could be like in her
Like her
dream.
Right.
subconscious.
Yeah, in her like subconscious, like she like sees a vision of her fighting a monster or something.
That's
like that.
that's also one thing this pilot did before I go to my predictions is like she did her thoughts of like Elaine's head getting bigger and her boobs getting bigger and her being like small in a chair. There's a lot more near the beginning of the episode and a lot less towards the end. So I'm wondering
if they stop doing that
are
kind of
if
stuff,
they
or-
like even them out a little bit because I thought it was like a little front heavy.
Yeah.
In her like thing, she got shot by all those arrows.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
There's a couple that were like really fast and then they kind of died out and then she like was small in the chair near the end, but that had been like 10 minutes in between.
Turns out it just was a really big chair in that conference room.
Yeah, right. For a second I thought I was like, dang, they got big chairs. And I was like, oh, I get what they're done. Okay, I got 4. I'm on I think Georgia and Ally are good friends now.
Good friends.
No. Oh, I hope not.
I think in this episode there a big case finishes and it's the case of the lesbian embezzler.
Okay. I like that you put a label on it.
Yep. I think Ally runs her own law firm and or she's a partner. So by that I mean she at least has her name on the sign.
All right.
So it's gonna be like Fish and McBeal.
Yeah, something like that.
Is there another partner in it?
I think
This first
I
one?
think this one's just the fish.
I think it was like Cage and Fish or
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So maybe Cage dies and McBeal takes over or something.
Okay.
But I think her name's
Is
on
that how that works?
sometimes.
How you get your name on the thing?
Yeah. How do you get your name on the
Yeah,
thing?
you got to be a
Is it-
partner.
You just become a partner.
And then your name just goes on the thing.
Well,
Yeah.
if you're going to be a partner, your name better be on the
I
thing.
need to know some more lawyers.
Hamlin and McGill.
Yeah, just watch some Better Call Saul. And then my 4th one is Ally has a baby.
Whoa, because of Dancing Baby.
No, I think it's a real baby in the world of Ally McBeal. I think it's an actual baby she takes care of, not a one she dreams of.
Oh, I
that
kind of
dances.
hope that. And then she goes out dancing because she's single with her baby.
Yeah, she can be single. I don't give a shit about that. I just think she has a baby.
I like it.
Yeah, I can see that happening for
And
sure.
I wrote it down. It's not. I'm not going to keep it because I think we all kind of agree. But I'm 99% Billy's dead or gone.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
include
So I
that.
didn't include that either. I wrote it down, but I'm like, nah. That's low hanging fruit. All right.
In honor of someone we love.
So why don't we get on with it and watch the finale?
Let's do it.
Okay, we'll see you after that. And we're done with Ally McBeal.
Yep.
We did it. Finale. You loved this last episode.
I wouldn't use those words. I was disappointed.
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 Well, here's what happened in the finale of Ally McBeal entitled Bygones. Ally discovers Maddie is suffering from a nervous reaction to all of the changes in her life after she passes out. Ally decides the only way she can help her daughter is to move back to New York City while spending her last hours in the town. Ally gets a visit from Renee, Georgia, and Billy as a ghost.
Ghost Bill.
Ghost Bill.
It was a weak episode. Also, I just have a problem with like all of the plot lines they're throwing at you in season 5.
Why did you read into season 5 plot lines or something?
Well, I just looked up like how she got a daughter because all of a sudden her daughter, who's that actress?
Hayden Panettiere.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she's apparently like this 10-year-old girl that's like shows up and I'm like your kid. And Joe took way too long to realize that a woman couldn't just like not know they didn't birth a child.
Well, I mean, it's funny because he was like, I just realized there's no way she wouldn't know she had a kid. And I was like, yeah, obviously. And then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, she donated an egg.
Yeah, so I like looked into it. She had donated an egg for research, and then instead of using it for research, they accidentally like fertilized the egg and then inseminated someone with it or something.
Accidentally.
Yeah, apparently it's a huge deal.
I did read a thing that it said there was a mix-up at the egg clinic or something
Yeah,
like that.
and it was like everybody was so shocked. But then like all of the subplot to get it to be that Ally's in charge of this child, again, it just seems very strange.
Yeah, there's got to be some dumb like reasoning for the fact that this kid gets back to her. Just in general, because there's no way she didn't sign like probably a gajillion things being like, you're never gonna know what happens with this egg and blah blah blah, and like,
well, and then also then she's like, the kid's like, I'm sick, I have a cold, and then suddenly they're like up and moving.
Well, and the reason why they're moving is like, oh, your kid's like stressed out, so to like save her life you gotta move to New York. And it's like, just fucking deal you're a kid, like deal with it.
Maybe help support her, Skype with some friends.
Yeah, like just you're in Boston, you're not that far away from New York. Like, you're far away, but like,
she's also 10, like,
fly her home. This is 2000. Kids can fly by themselves back
Or
then.
if she's that stressed out, like going home probably doesn't solve everything, right?
Yeah, no, just going to a city where you might know people isn't going to be like the save all for
it was a
child.
really dumb way to end the series.
It was a stupid reason to make her move.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
And then there was the weird wedding with Mr. Fish and like Christina
Christina
Ricci.
Ricci.
But like the dad, like, what was his deal? Like, he would just fall asleep?
He passed out every time he like felt emotion or something like that.
So they like jerry-rigged this guy up to like a hoisting thing.
Yeah, because he was the officiant of the wedding as well.
And so he just like kept passing out and then needed to be... that was terrible.
Because they did it like 10 times, that scene where he would fall over and pull him back up.
They did it
too many times.
They did it a lot at the end, and I'll be honest, at some part I was like,
Stop.
like, well, no, at some point I was like, it's been a while since he passed out. I thought this guy had a condition, and then he kept doing it at the end. I was like, oh, there it is.
He didn't have the emotions until then.
It wasn't as emotional.
And then like everybody sang at the wedding, and I felt like there was a lot of closure. So maybe if you're a fan, you really needed this closure.
I wonder if like
and the ghost.
And
the ghost. I wonder if Jane Krakowski like sang a lot in this show.
Yeah, maybe.
Potentially. Fucking Vonda sang all over the place.
All over, so much Vonda.
What's her name? Vonda Rhymes? Is that it?
Vonda Shepherd.
Vonda Shepherd.
Vonda Rhymes. Vonda Rhymes.
Yeah, no, it was weak. It was a weak finale.
What's her name? Brenda Trebleclef?
They just like make up a name for her.
I mean, her name sounds fake anyway.
Vonda.
Yeah. I've never heard that one before. That's a new one. That's a new name. Fun, I guess. It's like someone was like, what do you want your baby to name? And she's like, Wanda. Someone's like, Vonda?
Vonda?
Wanda.
Sure.
Vonda? It's like,
Write down Vonda.
All right, it's on the birth certificate. I guess your name's Vonda now. We'll go with it. Yeah, and then obviously, like, Billy died at some point.
Season 3, they found out middle of the season he had a brain tumor.
Okay.
Next day, next episode, drops dead in court. Apparently,
Oh, he died in court.
in court, and everybody thought he was gonna be like a low kill, like a slow kill. Like, oh, he'll like live with this and die at the end of the series or the end of the season, and he like full on just got killed off because he wanted to quit the show.
So, but he's been dead for 2 or 3 seasons, and he's still just like her one and only someone.
You were
Yeah.
right.
Again.
Yeah.
Well, once again, they were broken
Written
up
by
for
men.
3 years, and she was the only person he was like she was doting on that whole time too.
I guess. And they dated since they were kids or something.
Yeah, and David Kelly did write this last episode, by the way.
Woof.
Decals.
He needs to go back and watch some of the originals.
I think when people write things, they should probably write what they're like knowledgeable of and what they know. I do believe that, like, you're writing a story, it's your story.
Mm-hmm.
You can write it how it is. People get mad sometimes when, like, people write stories and it's like, oh, there's like, this is an all black cast or this is an all white cast or this is like, there's too many men kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, well, the writer just like, as like Tyler Perry knows like his stuff, so he writes Medea movies, like, like that's the stuff he knows. He writes what he's comfortable with. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you're mad about what people write, but I don't think David Kelly.
So you're saying David Kelly maybe shouldn't write for women?
Yeah, I'm saying all this, but like David Kelly can write his story how he wants it, but at the same time, it's like there's a reason why the show I think got canceled because he wasn't really writing what he knows. And so maybe he had success for a couple seasons, but then a lot of things I wrote was like Ally McBeal started off with a bang and it really went downhill. And then it got canceled. So I'm wondering how the last like season 4 and 5 were. You know, people were like, oh, this is kind of getting shitty.
Well, and they brought in Robert Downey Jr. to like bulk it up season 4, I think.
I mean, and this is like early 2000s, late 90s. So he's probably like coked up Robert Downey, right? When did he go to rehab?
I have no idea, but that's an interesting tidbit. What did you guys think about the dancing babies?
So there was a dancing baby, but it was in like a Yankees uniform.
Yeah.
There was a like Rudy Giuliani in like a Speedo.
Yep.
And then there was Bill and Hillary Clinton, except Hillary had a leash around Bill's neck. And literally...
And they were all baby-sized.
And they're all baby-sized. And Ally McBeal was like, these are... You know, I talk to my fantasies sometimes. And,
Okay.
And those were... And I was like, what kind of fucking fantasies?
Do you know, I just Googled this.
Uh-huh.
And apparently the dancing baby is a recurring hallucination suggesting the metaphor for the ticking of Ally's biological clock.
Well, luckily she already had a kid 10 years ago.
I know. But it's also like, that's super weird with like the whole found out you have a kid that's 10 thing. And then also like with it being Bill and Hillary Clinton, like that doesn't even go. That doesn't even make sense.
Well, this is what David E. Kelly thinks is what happens and what rules a woman's life, apparently, you know?
I felt like there weren't enough of these, like the fun, kooky moments. They did the clip show at the beginning of like all the kooky things that have happened in the show ever.
That was that was 5 minutes of just spitfire. Like, don't make those clips longer than 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like,
But
boom, boom.
but it made me be like, oh man, this show is like got some kooky fun stuff going on.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah.
And then our whole episode was,
Very serious and like sad.
yeah. And I guess the only kooky thing was like ratcheting that guy who had like that passing out disorder. Like that was the silly thing.
It was like
There's a ghost.
I'm wondering if the ghost wasn't supposed to be funny. The ghost was her dead like long lost love. I'm wondering if that like ratcheting the guy up who kept passing out with that lever thing, pulley system. I'm wondering if it just didn't hit Family Guy length. Like if they would have done it for like 2 more minutes, would it have, you know, it's
Would
like
have gotten funny.
it was funny and then it wasn't fun anymore, and maybe they just needed to do it a little bit longer, and it would have been funny. Because I think I was warming back up to it at the end.
No, I think they needed to do it less because the first couple times was like, that's funny. And then it was like, that's too regularly.
Yeah.
Too much.
So they needed to do it more. A
But
little bit more.
So there weren't a lot of those like fun, kooky things that I guess the show was about. And that first like 5-minute montage like looked like it would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looked fun.
But after watching this show, I don't think I want to spend any time on it.
Yeah, I mean, just nothing about it appealed to me.
You're not gonna go back and watch like a
Get it? Appeal?
court shows.
Objection overruled.
Overruled.
Guilty, Your Honor.
I don't know any good court puns. Sorry, guys.
Oh wait.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's this show seemed like it was in the end. It was like, really, we're just still doing. It didn't seem like. It just didn't really seem like it moved anywhere from beginning to end. Especially with Ghost Guy, and knowing that he had been dead for like 2.5 seasons, at least 2 seasons. I was like, what has she been doing this whole time?
Yeah, they're still calling back to him. Yeah.
And the only thing that like moved in her life was that she got a kid, but that was just because of like a really weird mix-up. And maybe that was kooky and silly right away, but I don't think that's how that came about.
I'm sorry, but kids are never kooky and silly. Like that's something you have to like take care of. You have to feed it. You got to house it. You got to deal with them being sick. Like, ain't kooky or fun.
Yeah, the first episode made me go, this could be a fun show. And that last episode made me go, I think I've seen enough.
Yeah.
Joe?
I'm trying to think of a nice thing to say about it.
But remember, Joe, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all.
There's a lot of characters.
What do you think about that?
So you liked
singing?
the ensemble cast, is what you're saying?
Yeah, it seemed like it was more than just Ally, because there was Portia de Rossi, there was Jane Krakowski, there was Bobby Cannavale.
Sure.
He's the dude.
Who was that dude?
Who's the guy that played what's the not Fish and Cage and Fish?
Cage.
Who's
played
that guy
Cage?
who played Cage?
I don't know.
He's in a lot of stuff.
He was in the movie Bean.
I don't
with
think he's
Mr. Bean.
Was he Mr. Bean in that movie?
No, was he Mr. Bean? Is that what you said?
I don't know because that's a different person.
Yeah.
It's Peter
What the hell?
McNally.
Was he Mr. Bean?
I don't know how to pronounce names, guys.
McNichols or something?
I can't get over the fact that...
See, let's scroll to something else. I don't know what it is.
Try again.
Yeah, that dude.
Peter McNichol.
I was close. Peter McNichol.
Ally McNichol.
And yeah, he was in Bean.
Well,
He's
yeah,
in Bean.
they did a weird thing with him because he liked Ally, and it seemed like he was trying to like date her when she wasn't a partner because the clip was like, it's
This
not
is
that
weird,
I like
you're my boss. Or
you're
something.
my boss and I'm like not gonna date my boss, which is like it's probably a solid idea. And then
Date anyone else.
and when we start this, she's a partner in the law firm with so she's a coworker, like his peer,
yeah.
so that whatever those feelings were from the past, and then he's like all bent up on it too. And I mean, I don't know, we don't know how long it had been. Maybe like he said that to her and then a month later she became partner. Maybe that's why she became partner, because she wouldn't date her boss, so he made her partner.
I wish my field had a thing where I could become partner. I could just become just like the dude.
You just want your name on buildings.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want. I guess I could like
Tower.
Yeah, I guess I could just start a company with my name on it.
Joe
Town.
Joe Company.
Jojo and Joe Incorporated.
Oh man, there's 3 guys that run this. Yeah, me, and me.
me, and the crazy version of me.
What does he do? He doesn't write anything down.
It's a dancing baby
We make
and
pizzas.
like a ghost.
It's a pizza company.
It's a pizza.
We sell pizzas out of this Honda Civic.
I don't like this. I actually feel like I wouldn't go buy a pizza from you.
Yeah, I know. $5 hot.
Yeah,
and
my
ready.
friend Joe. Yeah, what does he do now? Oh yeah, quit the podcast. Why? Because he sells pizzas out of his Honda Civic. What's this pizza place called? Jojo and Joe
Incorporated.
Incorporated. What does that have to do with pizza? It's just his name 3 times.
Yep. And it's a 2-door, so you gotta take the pizzas out the trunk.
You couldn't even at least do a hatchback.
He's not gonna get a new car. He's gonna just use the one he
Oh
has.
yeah, I suppose.
I'm
Yeah.
not gonna spend that capital.
He's gonna work on like just labeling things with his, sweet name.
I like this as a guy in Pie World though. Like
The guy who
Back
sells
to
pizzas
Pie
out of
World.
his car.
Yeah, there's a guy. He's like the Kramer of the show, and his name is Joe. And he's like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And we're like, "Oh, hey Joe, what's up?" And he's like, "Pizzas are going great today." JoJo Incorporated. Got it?
Pie World.
Do you know the names of the people that own the pie shop? They're named Dusk
Dude,
and Dawn.
You haven't talked about it in a while.
We talked about it like 3 episodes ago.
No.
I don't remember that.
When we watched
It has-
From Dusk Till Dawn.
Well, you guys were on my.
Whatever.
I know you fixed it. Christmas Miracle.
We had some, for everybody listening now, hopefully they're still on there, but we had some Google Play and Stitcher issues.
Well, I want to know who else listened to the whole episode that was just your microphone when it was on.
It was only on for a couple hours.
Besides Luke, who listened to the whole thing. Cause
Just with me?
He's a true fan. He's like, well, I can't not listen. He listened to the whole Just Josh episode.
Man, hey, Luke, you're welcome. I'll be honest, Luke, if you want to just let me know, I'll send you a version of only me personally every week.
Don't do that to him.
We'll start a Patreon and that's the $1 goal. You get the only Josh cast. Are you pick which one of us you only want to hear?
Yeah, you can build your own mix.
Build your own first and last mix.
It would just be like the show Ally, but just for the pod, you know?
Well, same length of time though when we cut down.
Oh,
It'd
you're not
just
gonna
be a
put
lot-
that You're not gonna put that effort into shortening it.
No, it'd just be silence in between. I'd make sure to mute it while I'm not talking, so you can't even maybe my microphone doesn't even pick up potentially what you guys are saying.
That's less fun. It was more fun like hearing bits and pieces of the background.
Fair enough. I didn't listen to it. I mean, come on.
I mean,
I just exported it wrong and uploaded it incorrectly. All right. Well, hey, let's get to predictions for Ally McBeal.
Yeah. You just want to get to these because you got so many points.
I crushed it. But you go first because you went first.
Okay, so I said Renee and Ally go out dancing because she's single. And it took so long for Ally McBeal to start dancing in this episode. But Joe says that she did, so I get a point.
She danced and she was single.
Yes. And then I said Elena's a lawyer, and we don't know. So that's nothing. And then I kept listening for one of these fishisms, and I didn't hear any. I mean, he brought up, like, he likes to talk about money, but there wasn't, like, a good zinger from Fish.
Yeah.
So I don't
He was too busy marrying Christina Ricci.
That was so weird. But yeah, so I get 1 point.
Cool. I said that Ally becomes president, which inconclusive. There was no courtroom, which came true. There's a large Godzilla monster. There were visions, but not a monster. And that someone calls her Allison. There wasn't that either. So I just got a 1 point for the no courtroom.
Well, guys, you did okay, but I beat all of you combined.
You did really, really well.
My predictions were Georgia and Ally are good friends.
Oh.
I didn't even think she's going to be in this episode, and she swooped in with like 10 minutes left.
With like a full-on like cardigan over a like sweater vest shirt, like tied in a knot, very 90s.
She was magnificent.
Maybe she was a ghost too.
Maybe, yeah. Well, she was great friends with that ghost, and I feel like everyone else could see that ghost. So that's a point. Big case finishes. The case of the lesbian embezzler. That did not happen.
Nope.
No.
There was no courtroom.
She's innocent.
The lesbian didn't do it. My third one is she runs her own law firm / or is a partner. And what I meant by that was her name was on the sign. Yeah. We saw the sign. Cage, Fish, and McBeal. And fourth, Ally has a baby. She has a kid.
Yeah, that counts.
Apparently, from some sort of egg mix-up.
That is so... I would have stopped watching the show then, but, you know.
I was trying to remember... Since we've started this podcast, I've been like, dang, Hayden Panettiere's been in a lot of crap.
Yeah, right? She's been in a lot of things.
Like...
You guys should just do only shows
and
she's
she just shows up in shows. Like we watched Nashville and we knew she was in it.
Yeah.
But then she's just in Malcolm in the Middle.
In the
like,
first or the
friend.
last?
I don't know. I watched all Malcolm in the Middle after that, so I knew that now. But she's in Malcolm in the Middle. She just shows up in this show, like, you know. I thought it was like, oh, that's that girl from Heroes. That's all I knew, and I'm like, dang, she's in everything. She did great. She's doing great.
She fell on the stairs in this one.
So. Yeah, she did. I thought she was gonna like fall on her neck and like die like when she like passed out during the episode. I was like, oh shit, Hayden's gonna die. Ally's baby gonna die. Oh, I got 3 points. That's what I said.
You got all the points.
I got 3 out of the 4.
But you're like in the lead though.
Oh, I'm well in the lead of this season.
Well, the one that you said that you didn't put down was that what's his name? Billy was gone.
I wrote I was gonna write Billy is gone or dead, and that was the other one that I wrote, but I didn't. I wanted to incorporate because I didn't want the low hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have just went with because I had a strong feeling that he was gonna be dead, and I thought that would have been fine, you know, because we would have had to prove he would have been dead, and he came back as a ghost.
Yeah, because I would say that he was dead but not gone, because he showed up in the last.
Yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, that's fair. Well, so I mean, Billy is dead or gone.
Wait, you don't get a point.
No, I'm not saying I didn't submit that as a prediction.
Mm-hmm. But you didn't submit it because we all thought it was like super obvious that he was either dead or gone.
Yeah.
That was such a. I still can't believe she's like all about this guy.
You can be all about somebody, but not for 5 whole seasons. Come on.
Yeah, 5 seasons too long.
So you're saying that you can't have a love interest stay with another person for 5 seasons?
You can. Dr. Quinn did it, and it was fine. Tim Taylor did it and it was fine. But like not one that's never with you the entire show.
Okay.
Or is dead for half of the show.
Yeah.
He was dead
He died.
for half of the show.
That's true.
It's over. Marry somebody else. Move on. It's a TV show. I don't want you to see you. I don't want to watch an episode where like Ellie visits Billy's grave. Like, you know? Oh, great. It's one of those.
That's in season 3.
Yeah. It's like the cold open on every single Ally
It just
McBeal.
starts with her at the gravesite.
Her putting flowers.
I feel like maybe I would want to watch season 1 and season 2 of this and then never watch anymore. But maybe not. I don't know. I thought it was
Maybe you probably get hooked. If you get all the way through season 2, you got to watch halfway through season 3 and watch Billy die in court. I want to watch the episode where he just dies in court.
I feel like if you commit to a show, you gotta like finish, even if it gets terrible. I'm not good at quitting a show.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
So you're gonna watch all 112 of these?
so that's why I'm not gonna watch it.
You only need to watch 110.
Yeah.
You already watched 2.
No, but here's the thing. I already know it ends stupidly, and I know I won't want to watch any of this like getting a kid crap or like any of these other like.
These are the only episodes I want to watch. The episode where Billy dies and the episode where they explain the egg mishap. I want to watch those 2 episodes.
Nope. That's when I'm done.
And then maybe the other one where like Georgia and Allie become friends.
Oh man.
Where like they like shake hands and we're like, we like each other.
I hope they refer to it as the egg mishap. Like such an understatement.
It sounds like an episode of Seinfeld. It's called the egg mishap.
It sounds like you just overcooked some eggs and like ruined breakfast, but
And then you
had a kid.
And then you got a Hayden. Whoo. Well, all right. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, hey everybody. Thank you for listening to another week's
Case closed. Or is that more of a cop thing? Did your mic go out?
Yeah. Hey, thanks for listening to another week's episode of First and Last. We appreciate you. Claire, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
We'll try to get Jimmy out of here some other time, especially before the season ends. We'll get you more points.
Oh, yeah, we're going to reveal where he was.
Oh, we never found out, did we?
He never texted back, but I did watch a Snapchat, and it turns out Jimmy's saving the whales in the Atlantic Ocean.
Oh, man. What a good guy.
Yeah. He's saving them one by one.
What a good guy.
Here I am watching Ally McBeal.
Hey, well, you know, some of us do God's work and some of us save whales. So we'll see you guys next week for another episode where we're going to watch Free Willy.
I love that movie.
Because Jimmy will be back. And he loves whales.
He'll tell us all about his whale adventures.
Are there TV shows about whales? Like kids and whales?
Are there shows? Ask Luke. Luke loves whales. So call up Luke. Anyway.
I'm definitely not going to do that. Hey, thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.